response movie, response show to Bill Oreilly Interviews Michael Savage. I'm going to play the interview and then respond point by point. Here we go.
Thanks for staying with us. I'm Bill Oreilly in a personal story segment tonight. One of the most controversial media people in the country is radio talk show host Michael Savage, heard on more than 300 radio stations across the country. Mr. Savage also has a best-selling book.
As soon as I hear something that I have a comment on, I'll stop it and I'll make my commentary.
Entitled The Savage Nation, and he joins us now from San Francisco. You know, we're both on the same radio station out in the Bay City, KNEW, and I was out there a few weeks ago driving around, and I heard you talking about the war, the secular war that we've been talking about here on A Factor. And you think that it's almost a much bigger orchestrated campaign than I've been defining. Why don't you give us your vision on that?
Well, the argument is being presented as though Christianity is not the issue. It's the issue of a few atheists or Buddhists or Hindus who are offended by the cross. That may be true, but that's not the larger picture. I'm sorry, you and I probably disagree on this in advance. To me, the radical left is attacking the church. They're attacking religion. They want religion wiped out. Now, I don't mean burn the churches. We keep hearing about separation of church and state. Well, first of all, we all know that's not written in the Constitution.
You know, he makes it very consistent. He has a great voice. You know, I'm taking voiceovers right now. The Art of Voiceovers. I also have a book called Intellectual Character. How to Get Jobs for Voices in Your Head. And the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. So, he's making his point very clear, very straightforward, and he's getting off on a great roll. Now, I threw in the comments about the books because just to attempt to let you know that I did do my research as far as his voice is concerned. I mean, he doesn't go off, you know, angry like he does sometimes, but you know, he's being very diplomatic with Oreilly, and I mean, later on he insults him 3 or 4 times.
Constitution says there shall be no establishment of religion by Congress. But that means that there shall be no disestablishment of a religion by Congress, meaning Congress has to remain neutral on the issue. So,
and he's looking at every angle. He's looking at the reverse side or the flip side of the angle.
If a man is a Buddhist and wants to have a Buddha in his courtroom, I suppose he could have a Buddha for comfort. If he wants to wear a cross on his neck, or she wants to wear a cross for his comfort or her comfort, that's a religious belief. If a Jewish person wants to wear a skull cap in court as a judge, that's his religious right. It's his way of saying God is above me. Now, the issue is, to me, it's cultural Marxism. What do I mean by that? What did the early communists do?
I'm not really commenting on what he's saying at this point. It's a little esoteric for me on what he's saying. I don't really care about politics. I care to a point, but I don't care what they say. I go with whoever makes sense most of the time. That's primarily what I do. I believe we're really not in control of what's going on in the world. I mean, I don't think any of the candidates are any good, but
when they took over Russia, they overthrew the church. There could not be a strong church with a strong state. There was tyranny, it's true, from the Tsar, but the state wasn't as strong as the Tsar. Now you have a state, meaning the communists, replacing the church. So they had to knock the church out of the box. I see the same thing going on here, Bill. That's the fight today.
All right. I don't see it quite the way you do, but I'll get at that to a minute. Now, you're not a church-going guy. That was another thing that caught my ear as I was riding around.
Not at all.
You don't go to church. You're not a real strong.
Well, you know, that's an ignorant statement. he's implying that you don't, if you don't go to church, you're not good enough or something. You know, he's saying he's not qualified. Well, you don't have to be. Look at the reverse. Some of the most ignorant people are the do-gooders. You know, the finger-pointing, Bible-thumping, Bible-pushing finger-pointers. And that's from experience, people. That's just not from just making something up out of thin air. I mean, he's making a very narrow comment, and in the process, he insulted him. And his condescending kind of a tone is a little belittling. I mean, I'll take Savage over Oreilly, you know, any day. You know, from what I'm seeing here.
God guy. So why are you?
Wait, no, Bill. I'm a very strong God believer.
Right. This is he makes a good point here.
Man, I just don't go to houses of worship except maybe once or twice a year, because whether people accept it or not, I am in touch with God all day long.
All right, that's fine, and that's your belief. But you know, very rarely.
Yeah, you don't have to be do the routine, and that's his style. He doesn't have to do the routine to believe in God. Now, there's the moral person that does something out of the kindness of his heart, and you know, he gives $1, he gives $5 to somebody and wants to go eat, and then, you know, when nobody's looking, he's helping you know, somebody that's being treated badly. He speaks up for them. Then there's the person that does it because he's obligated, because that's the policy of the church, right? That he's supposed to. He's fearful that he'll go to hell. He wants to go to heaven, so he's doing it to go to heaven. Well, who's the more moral person? He's not really sincere. He's just doing it to get out of trouble, versus the person that had nothing to gain or lose, but did it out of the kindness of his heart. And that person wasn't a Christian, and he didn't go to church. So you tell me, who's the more moral person? That's the part of the point he's making. And Oreilly is stupid not to see that.
You get somebody like...
Maybe he has a power trip. Maybe he doesn't like a Savage. He feels competitive with him, obviously. You know, now he's got that competitive bias. You know, he's biased, and maybe his self-esteem is just a few notches down because Savage is here. I don't know. I'm guessing. I'm speculating.
Like you, who was so angry about you do that anyway. I mean, just to get attention. I understand that.
No.
Second insult. Oh, you do that anyway just to get attention. No way. Savage is real. If Oreilly makes a stupid statement, that's the stupidest statement of the show. Just to get attention. That implies that he's fake. That really burned me up when I heard that, because that really made me angry at Oreilly, because he's not. You know, from some of the stuff I've heard come out of his mouth, he is an intellectual. But for him to make that kind of a stupid, narrow statement, one-sided statement, he just, you just lost 1,000% of respect for yourself, you idiot. You know. Look at him. It sounds like he's got an agenda up his ass. You know what I mean?
Part of your shtick is to overstate. Look, you and I talked before. You're not a stupid.
Bill, there are things worthy of anger. Bill.
Exactly. It's justified anger. There are things worthy of anger. When you're stepped on, you should be able to speak your mind and justify the wrong. It's justified anger. You can't be happy 24/7. And for Oreilly kind of just to brush off that statement is another stupid move. Let's just continue.